And good to see you all. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to each and every one of you. So this is our today's session number 2. I'm very kind to Dr. Maggie. I'm very humble to him because he has given me 1 hour, and in 1 hour he has given me this topic, critical analysis of the films. He also wants me to talk about the portrayal of women in films. He also wants me to talk about the portrayal of children in films, along with the consumer culture, right? How the consumer is, consuming these films, these products, films means product. So he's so humble that he wants me to cover everything in this particular session. But a very important thing that I have done it, that I have accepted. This is most important thing that a trainer should do, a teacher should do. He should accept each and every challenge and try to fix it out, that how he can, convey things in a better way in that limited time. There's always space to say, no, we cannot do that. It's very difficult. No. So we should not have that kind of attitude. We should accept it and we should, try to do it perfectly. So I'll be taking your little bit time and, I'll be explaining you about the critical analysis of the films, portrayal of the women, portrayal of the children in the films. But again, when I repeat myself, what I have told you in my session 1, that we are here to share the knowledge, learning. But along with that, my main focus is to give a method to you all, that how a teacher can, with the technology's knowledge, how he can, give best knowledge to the student. So my ways to tell you, to explain you how you can go about it. So it's a good thing that Dr. Maggie has done with me. So I can tell you that I have divided it in 3 parts. One is I'll be talking about the critical analysis of the film in general, right? I'll be sharing my method, how I discuss things with professionals, with students. And then I'll be obviously talking about the portrayal of women, how I go about it, and what is, in my opinion, and what I have heard from other theorists, other film critics, from my teachers long back, and how they have explained it. So I'll be discussing that thing with you. All this information is there online, but my main aim is to go through the technicalities, right? So when I talk about this particular topic, critical analysis of the film, I explain the students, the trainers, the professionals, that divide this film into 2 broad categories. That film is a product, as you already know now, that today we are going to talk about the film, not the cinema. Cinema is an industry process that we have talked in the last session. We are talking about a film. So whenever we are analyzing any film, we can divide the film into 2 broad categories. One is content and second is technical. So content wise, technical wise. Okay, so when I'm saying critical, as you all know, that we are looking into each and every aspect of it. Means we are looking at the positive points also, negative points also, good points also, bad points also, right? So critically analyzing it. Analysis means we are going into a detailed study of something, means detailed study of films. So it is very good format or model that you can, talk about the content and talk about the technical things. One important thing, whenever you are, reading a review of any film given by any journalist, you just go through the story of it. Means the journalist has given just the story of it, because that journalist might not have, studied from a proper film school. So he might not be that much, advanced and equipped with the technical aspect also. So majorly, whenever we are analyzing a film, we are analyzing the story of it, means the content of it. But it is very important for us to go through the technical aspects also. When I'm saying the content, that means the story, the writing part of it, the story or the narrative structure, right? When I'm saying the technical aspects, means acting, set designing, the properties, camera, lighting, editing, sound, direction, right? So why we are calling them technical things? because they are employing some kind of techniques. For example, acting also, though acting is a creative field, but we do have types of acting, methods of acting, right? If we want to do a character that we haven't, seen, experienced, then what kind of method or techniques we will apply in order to perform that particular role. Maybe I'm a very, I've seen a good, wealthy, rich life throughout my, life, but as an actor, now I have this character who's poor. I haven't seen this poverty in my entire life. How I will do it? So I have to apply some kind of technique, method. That's why acting is a technical field. Same, alike, the set, we need some technical things. Camera, we need technical things for that. Lighting, technical thing. Editing, technical software. Sound, technical thing. Direction, also technicalities. So these are the technical fields. Now, when I'm saying content, that means it is story, narrative structure. That means we have a situation, the situation that we have just discussed while asking you a few questions, that there is a situation that we want to show a fantasy of the character, right? This character has gone in the flash forward. He has gone into the future and he's thinking about how beautiful life is. He has a good, girlfriend, and he has a very good life. So fantasy, situation is fantasy. So from the content, we have got what? A situation. Now we will employ and engage all these technical elements, the character, his emotions, his expressions, set designing properties in and around the character, camera angles, movement, motion, right? The lighting, what kind of lighting we will give to this particular situation, what kind of editing, sound, and overall direction to this particular situation when we are showing a character in a fantasy world. So we can say that content, in order to convey the content to the audience, we have these tools: acting, set designing, camera, editing, direction, because we cannot put the script on the screen. We cannot put our paperwork on the screen and ask the audience to go through it, to read it. No, we have to execute it. We have to convert this paperwork, this idea, this situation with the help of these technical tools. And then we get a finished product, which we call film. So this is situation. In order to show the situation, we employ these technical elements, right? That's why I have asked about Steadicam from Mr. Manoj KD, that if we are doing a camera for, a steady camera, why the director has chosen what was there in that particular situation. Likewise, we employ all these, right? So now moving on to the content. In the last session also, we discussed about little bit about the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So this we call narrative structure, means the narration of the story, how we are narrating it. We are narrating it through our main hero, right? So this is a narrative structure that we are talking about. So content means the story, and story is based on this particular narrative structure. Now, coming back to this particular topic that we have. So whenever you want to discuss a film, you can critically analyze the film on the basis of content and technical aspects. Now, moving on, we have this portrayal of women and children in films. Now, the challenge is what cinema? Because what cinema we are talking about? Are we talking about Asian cinema? Are we talking about American, European? Are we talking about African cinema, Asian cinema? What cinema? We have a lot of cinemas, right? So one thing we can do, we can divide the eras. We can divide the, any country's cinema into eras, like the silent era, the sound era, the color era, the golden era, then the experimental era, or the contemporary era, then the last one. So one way of dealing with this particular topic is we will divide the era, the past to present, and then we'll see how the portrayal and the representation of women has this changing scenario. Second way is talk about any one particular era. Maybe we are talking about a contemporary era, that today the modern women are being shown, depicted, represented in the film in this manner. So we have taken only one era. We haven't taught the changing scenario from past to present. We are just talking about the present era. This is another way of dealing with this particular topic. And then you can also talk about the depiction and the portrayal of women and children through film genres. For example, you can pick romantic films, you can pick horror films, you can pick other genre films, and then study how the filmmakers have projected the women and children in that particular film. For example, if you're talking about horror film, most of you have, seen this film Conjuring, one of the good horror film, and it has additions also. So earlier, when we used to show women and children in horror films, we used to take the women and children, specifically we want to focus on them because they were supposed to be the weaker section of the society. We wanted someone to shout, to scream loudly after watching some unusual or, some kind of horrified thing. So children and women, they are the one community that shouts, that screams, that gets so feared immediately. So they horror film used to make use of women and children in horror films. Gradually, we have seen, if we are talking about Conjuring, gradually we have seen that these weaker community of women and children, they have got this change in their scenario. Now they are afraid of some kind of supernatural power or ghost or something like that, unusual thing happening, frightening thing happening with them. But they are somehow showing their power. These women and children, they are actually having some power in the sense they are recollecting their confidence, their strength, and trying to fight with that particular horror or fear. So now see the change that happened from weaker, as they were considered as a weaker section of the society, and horror filmmaker, they used to take them, and now also they are taking female, women and children in the film. But now the situation has changed, right? Now, I particularly believe in different period of time. Whenever I'm talking about any portrayal of gender, women or children, I actually take the different period of time. So in very nutshell, I'll be explaining about this topic, and so that you will, have some learning and knowledge and see how I go about it. So I'm talking about different period of time. I'm talking about American cinema, Soviet, French, Iranian cinema. So I have divided, as per me, I have, gone through the films of 1930s, 65, 96, 2003, 2011 and 13. And then I found out that in 30s, when the women started working in the films, though they started working in the films in 1920s, where they were like, supporting or secondary characters. So earlier they were like housewives. They were responsible of, household and everything. They were managing the house. Then we gradually got this shift from the, time of 50s and 60s. So a very good example, if we take, is Le Bonheur 1965. It's a French new wave film, and here the meaning is happiness. So the filmmaker is trying to show the life of this particular women in this film. Let me show you the clip of this particular film and then discuss further. Okay, this is very important to understand that most of the people, whether they are from any professional field or different fields, they actually consider cinema as a casual discipline. So in order to struggle and fight for our field of cinema and films, we have to relate our understanding and study with some kind of theory, with some kind of, statement and argument or debate that the theorist has made, right? So I'll be talking little about the Marxist and feminist theory, which are, two different theories, but they share common views. Common views means equality for all the human beings, regardless of the color, race, and gender. Though we have 40 years difference between these two, theories. The Marxist theory came in 20s and the feminist theory came in 60s. But still they are talking about equality, a common thing. So we talk about different period of time if we want to discuss how women has been represented, whether as an object, I repeat, whether as an object or mental identity. What was the role of women in the society in the 30s or till 50s? They were all about, housewives. So this film has introduced an alternative, kind of story, and it has managed to shake the society's stereotype in her film, the director's film. So what this film is doing, it is based on French New Waves. We'll be talking about French New Waves in our next session. So just think like French New Waves is rejecting the traditional things. So traditional thing was showing the women just surrounded with, household work, family, and doing things for them. But French New Waves have started showing the women in their bold perspective. So this was one of the example. And let's move to the another example. Another example is Watermelon Woman that came in 1996. So if we talk about this particular film, the main character of the film is an African-American woman, Chell, who is also a lesbian. Different groups who fights for their visibility. So suddenly this concept of, LGBTQ concept has come, and they actually started projecting women in that particular manner. Let's watch a small clip of this particular film.
Could you, Irene?
You know how hard it was to find these films? It's like one of the few race films that she ever starred in.
Really?
So now just imagine this action genre, which was male dominating since a long time in cinema. Now women has been introduced as the main protagonist in such films, and with the masculine point of view. So her power were unrealistic and all her actions were revolving around the male character Bill. There are few scenes also in the films you must have noticed that she, the main protagonist, is looking into the camera, and we see how beautiful and attractive she is. She has a beautiful body also, and she has long, beautiful leg. So along with that kind of, pleasure we are getting, the audience are getting, we are, employing the main protagonist, who is the female in the action genre. So this is again was a changing scenario when we are talking about women. Now, after that, we have one more very important discussion, which was done by Laura Mulvey. She was British feminist film theorist who talked about male gaze. She has written a very important and very popular essay, Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema. She has talked about women as an object, and a very important example is the Wolf of the Wall Street in 2013. So we can just go through the clip and then discuss about that particular film.
But no touch.
So this is a very important scene, a very important still of this particular film that has been discussed in and around the world. The theorists, the critics, the scholars, they are discussing about this particular scene. of this particular film when they are talking about male gaze. Male gaze is how the women character behave in film, because they actually are not always the producer of the situations, right? They are not creating any kind of situation or the plot. They are not creating any plot, but they are just like a participant. They are just like a passive participant. So they are not the producer and creator of the plot. The women start to perceive their own body as an object of pleasure for the eyes of the others. And this way we treat the women body and female characters in the cinema as an object of pleasure or fun. This is what this theorist Laura Mulvey has explained. She has also explained this particular scene by saying that in this particular scene, the wide angle shot of the female character who is wearing a short pink dress and pink heels, this identifies her legs as the key focus of the shot. And we can, employ this to Maulvi's statement that there is pleasure in being looked at, and female figure on screen as a sexual object or a perfect product, right? So appealing to this patriarchy male audience that Mulvey has, always tried to discuss and explained. Now, the last change that we have identified is when we are actually talking about Iranian films or cinema. A very important film was A Separation that came in 2011. It talks about the modern Iranian society. It talks about women who are actually struggling and raising their voice for equal social rights that men are sharing. So let's go through this particular video.
جدی شد.
So this is one of the good examples where we are showing a realistic film, realistic story through Iranian cinema, because we consider their, society to be modern society, and how women wants to have the same social rights that the men have. So this is how we have seen this scenario. That's it for this particular session. So I'm ready to take questions.